How is it that people are still superstitious in this day and age? I was in a car recently with someone who saw a black cat crossing the road that they wanted to turn onto. And rather than drive down the road where a black cat had just crossed, they went around the block to get to their destination in a way that would avoid driving through that path where the black cat had just crossed. And I kind of laughed internally because here's a person who's going out of their way because a cat crossed the road. Like, it's just absurd. But this person's mind has been influenced to believe that if a black cat crosses the road, it's bad luck or whatever. And this really speaks to a larger deficiency in our rational thinking. That when we're presented with a superstitious idea, or when we're presented with any idea, we should examine whether it has some explanation, some rational explanation behind it, as opposed to just accepting it because that's what people say. You know, people say if a black cat crosses the road, then it's bad luck if you walk through there or you drive through there. You have to examine what is the cause and effect relationship between a black cat crossing the road and your bad luck. First of all, luck itself is a superstitious idea. There is some element of unpredictability in the world that you could call luck. But that unpredictability is not influenced by some random cat walking across the road. There's no way to connect those two events in a causal way. It is possible that this superstition came about way back when, maybe thousands of years ago, when a person crossed or walked by after a black cat had crossed, and immediately after that, something happened that was bad luck. That was, you could say, an accident. And for whatever reason, this person connected, or other people who saw the event, connected the two and decided that there's some causal link, that there's some cause and effect relationship between the two. And this was perpetuated for centuries and millennia, and now it's just like a common idea that if a black cat crosses the road, it's bad luck. But where's the causal relationship? Nobody stops to think. When they're presented with an idea like this, nobody stops to think, what is the cause and effect relationship here? How does a black cat crossing cause bad luck? Anybody? Leave a comment if you have some idea of what this causal link is. Go ahead, leave a comment. I'd love to hear it, because it's very difficult to understand how one causes the other. But if you don't examine things, if you're naturally inclined to just accept what people say, then you can be led to believe any number of loosely believable ideas. Any superstitious idea will pass muster for you because you don't think about it, you don't question. So we need to start putting these ideas through a causal test, a rational test of finding the causal link, the causal relationship. How is this event, the black cat crossing, a cause for whatever happens afterwards? If you can't find the causal link, then you have to say it's probably superstition. If you find a causal link, then by all means, you should live by that. Because if you understand that doing X causes Y, if doing one thing causes another thing, then you should follow that. You should live by that. You should do things that cause good things, good results, and you should avoid doing things that cause bad results. That makes perfect sense. But if you don't know what the causal link is and you can't come up with it, you can't find out how something causes another thing, or is there actually a causal link, then you should really be just leaving it open. You should just leave it as a question mark. You don't know the answer. Until then, you shouldn't live by it. You should be questioning it and wondering what's the causal link here, and trying to live your life by a standard of rational thinking, rational reasoning, questioning, deciding what the best way to live is. So don't be taken by these superstitious thoughts that are perpetuated by confused minds and do not satisfy the test of logic and reason.